Tonight, an exclusive 5 on Your Side investigation into a tiny village with a big secret. A plan so well thought out, would you fall for it?
It's an eye-opening investigation that took us months. The main target? The 92,000 cars that travel I-77 through Newburgh Heights every single day.
5 on Your Side investigator Jonathan Walsh uncovered a 3.5-year government-sanctioned scheme in Newburgh Heights that's collected thousands of dollars in a misleading way.
If you blink, you might miss the sign for Newburgh Heights, a tiny droplet of a town, about a half-square mile total, which includes the golf course. The average income, 40 grand. Average homes, 73,000. A small, working-class town whose government has a big secret we're about to expose.
You think it's official, you know, and you're doing the right thing.
Rhonda Abraham, a victim of a widespread scheme to fool people and insurance companies into giving cash to Newburgh Heights.
I work hard for my money.
You don't want to just give it away?
No, I don't want to give it away. I can do better things with it.
She's not alone.
And they just assume they have to pay it or they're going to get arrested if they don't.
Mike McFarland paid up too.
It just don't seem morally right to charge you for something like this.
And what are they charging for? Calling the cops for an accident. Would you expect this from your public officials?
No.
But it is the same village where at least 1/5 of its budget comes from traffic tickets. You might know it from the well-publicized controversial speed cameras, where officers on the bridge checking their moneymaker, I-77. At Newburgh Heights Mayor's Court, where the speeders are paying up, do you think it's more about safety or about the money?
More so about the money.
I feel like it's more about money. Yeah, that's a lot of money accumulate, you know.
Inside the village's new $2.8 million hall sits this cavernous, well-adorned chamber, complete with bay windows, crown molding, and a chandelier. The court cost for these proceedings? $90 a head.
You've all been given a statement of your rights.
There's money going into the police department. It's a village with just under 2,200 people, but it has 30 total officers. This in a town where we drove the main loop, it took us 3.5 minutes. 30 officers? Similar villages, Strasburg, Walton Hills, Gates Mills, all with more people, all with many more square miles, all with fewer officers. A lot fewer.
If you do enter a plea,
It's a village where the police chief, John Majoy, has a salary that's more than 1.5 times what the average citizen makes. Mayor Trevor Elkins, same thing. We wanted to know more about charging people for calling the cops. As you know, we've been trying to talk to you a little bit about these insurance billings. Stewards of the village coffers didn't want to talk to us, so we went to them just before their bi-weekly meeting.
Contact me during the business day.
I have, and you have denied us an on-camera interview.
I don't have to give you an interview.
No interview, so I waited. Me, 2 residents, and the crown molding. Until the public comment session. The taxes of the village do not cover your police department? The conversation was lively and included a key question about billing for the response of police. Is that hard billing or soft billing? What would you tell the people who receive those bills?
Chief, do you have a comment? I think the answer is a soft billing.
I don't really know for sure, Mayor.
Turns out the mayor admitted it's all soft billing. What's that? That is the scam. You don't have to pay. And there's no explanation in here telling you there's no enforcement of these official-looking documents sent to people who are at fault and who live out of town. Even then, these bills still keep coming.
Started really making me think this is some sort of scam or something.
Meet Dennis Geiger. His wife, who didn't want to go on camera, was an offender bender. Someone hit her from behind in Newburgh Heights in September of 2015. She pulled to the side of the road.
Half an hour later, she calls me back and she says, "No one's come. I've called twice. No one's come."
She drove herself to the police station and filed the accident report. 5 months later, though, Dennis got this bill. $436 for police services, including a police officer and a squad car. But wait, none of that happened.
No.
Does this make any sense?
None whatsoever.
The village said Dennis's bill was a clerical error.
So you probably also discovered that that's the only circumstance where that's occurred.
We uncovered yet another crash in 2015 where Newburgh Heights police clearly stated it is undetermined who was at fault. The insurance company, though, got billed anyway and paid it. So So, in this sleepy little town, Newburgh Heights officers are still out there on the bridge.
The first plea you can make is a plea of not guilty.
The court is still packed.
You will be assessed a fine.
And the billing keeps rolling along.
It's terrible that this is going on, and it's been going on for a while.
How do you sleep at night knowing that you're fleecing people the way you do?
I'm 5 on your side investigator, Jonathan Walsh.
Well, the Village tells News 5 everything it does is focused on public safety. The billing for these kinds of services is a way to recoup costs.
The 5 on your side investigators checked with several other municipalities in our area to see if they bill for non-emergency police calls. They all told us no, that those calls are a public service. Now to brand new details about our 5 on your side investigation. For months, our team dug into questionable billing practices by Newburgh Heights, and we learned the Village is charging people who call the cops.
Tonight, 5 on your side investigator Jonathan Walsh has strong reaction from state officials and explains the roadblocks we encountered during our search for answers.
Does that make any sense to you?
No, not at all. Why did they need all that?
Chuck Miller is one of about 2,200 people who live in Newburgh Heights. He's reacting to our investigation after we revealed his village is billing out-of-towners like Rhonda Abraham.
You think it's official, you know, and you're doing the right thing.
For calling the cops to their car accidents.
I got a lot of out-of-community friends that come here to visit.
The Village sanctions these official-looking bills, but our investigation revealed you don't have to pay them. The Village just sends them out hoping to get cash from insurance companies and drivers just like you. It has people in the Village scratching their heads.
They get paid by our taxes, so it don't make sense why they want to charge people for an accident or anything.
Billing for accidents. We asked the Village for public records related to the billing and using a company called Cost Recovery Corp to collect the money. At first, the financial officer told us many records for things like exactly how much Cost Recovery Corp is paid don't exist, including how much a police car costs the Village to respond to an accident. Later, the Village wrote, the state auditor's office advises government entities to only provide documents that are readily available or can be produced at little or no cost. Is that true?
First of all, nobody in my office would ever say that.
The funny thing is, that's the state auditor, Dave Yost.
The Supreme Court has made it very clear that the cost of providing public records is part of the cost of doing business.
I'd like to make a public records request.
The notion that they have to be easily accessible, no. That's a management issue.
Now, when it comes to the deceptive bills, you might be asking yourself, why are insurance companies paying up? Well, an insurance expert who didn't want to go on camera told us insurance adjusters have stacks of claims to go through. And amounts of $200 to $400 are not worth the time to question. So insurance companies just send off the money. Meanwhile, the Ohio Insurance Institute, which is an insurance trade organization, told us bills like the ones Newburgh Heights uses should openly state payment is optional. It's called soft billing. Newburgh's bills don't do that.
Shame on councils that don't make that part of the billing statement that says this is soft billing.
It's enough to make people in this small village question their government's actions and reasons for the accident billing.
The police are here to do service. And if they got to get paid twice to do that service, then why do they need to get paid the first time?
I'm 5 on your side investigator, Jonathan Walsh.
Well, the investigators also found cities like Stowe, Macedonia, Shaker Heights dropped their accident response billing after residents raised questions and concerns about those billing practices.
Filed a lawsuit against News 5 today, and it all surrounds a story about questionable billing practices by the Village of Newburgh Heights, billing for police response to car accidents. Mayor Trevor Elkins filed the suit, and we reached out to him for comment.
5 on your side investigator Jonathan Walsh has led our coverage on this months-long investigation. Jonathan, you found an expert today you talked with, says today's lawsuit is very troubling.
Yeah, for many reasons, Rob. Patrick Cabot did not hold back on his opinion about this complaint filed by Mayor Elkins and 4 members of Village Council.
And what this seeks to do is withdraw speech from the public sphere.
Attorney Patrick Cabot is the director of Case Western Reserve's First Amendment and the Arts Project. He's read the complaint filed by Mayor Trevor Elkins and 4 members of Village Council and read News 5's investigation. His opinion of the lawsuit?
When I look at this and I think about it in the merits, it looks meritless.
Our investigation found a soft billing program that charges out-of-town, at-fault parties for police response to accidents within Newburgh Heights. We uncovered the village has no intention of collecting if the motorists don't pay. Those who have paid didn't know that.
Yes, it's definitely frustrating. It's almost like being made a fool out of.
If someone who gets one of these letters and pays it and feels scammed, you know, surely they shouldn't be chilled against saying they felt scammed.
The lawsuit claims defamation and false light publicity. It also claims News 5 smeared Mayor Elkins and his political aspirations. Patrick doesn't buy it and goes even further, saying,
simply by filing this document, this mayor knows full well it's going to impose an immediate cost for simply having run the story.
In response to the lawsuit, News 5 News Director Jeff Harris made this statement. We wholeheartedly stand by our story. Hard-hitting reporting on matters of public policy is the strength of our democracy. It's a sad day when elected officials think they can file lawsuits to chill the First Amendment.
That the net effect of this is to cause news reporters, editors, and the people that employ employees and pay them salaries to think twice.
Just moments ago, the attorney for Mayor Elkins got back to us in writing. He says he disagrees with Patrick's assessment. Now, you can read more of the lawyer's comments and the full lawsuit on our News 5 app. I'm 5 on Your Side investigator Jonathan Walsh.